Hello world, hello YouTube land. Wow, this was a disappointment. The first big comic of the week, my first review. I was expecting so much more. Gagnon. Issue number 1, Boom Studios. Never heard of Boom Studios, but yeah, I always pick up the independents, probably hoping for a little bit more than I actually ever get. When I first heard about this, I heard it was about some vampiric families, 50 families who rule the world, behind the scenes. I thought, wow, that's a lot of promise there. Good analogy to the banking families who actually do run the world right now, behind the scenes, behind their political puppets. So I dived into the book, and what did I get? Not a lot, really. Not a lot. What I got is a corporate enforcer called David Reed. He's the main protagonist of the book. He works as one of the day men. I call him a corporate enforcer because what his job really is, he works for one of the families. The family he works for is the Virgo family, and he basically goes around during the daytime when they're sleeping, because they're vampires and they can't do the business during the day. So he goes around in the daytime and amps them out. We have a first scene here where he kills one of their rivals, a poacher, in the boat. There you go, there's a good panel there of David Reed. It's very generic, isn't he? Very, very generic. That's David Reed. So he burns up the boat, and he goes back to one of their houses, one of the Virgo houses, meets a lady who is also working as a corporate enforcer. So something interesting so far. Next we see this David Reed going to like a dodgy bar sort of place where the vampires hang out, and these vampires hang out in this bar, but the bar doesn't seem to belong to one particular family. It's sort of like in a neutral zone, and what he's doing is he's getting one of the Virgo families vampires who's a bit of a drunk. So apparently vampires are going to be drunk just like humans. This vampire has killed somebody in a quite gruesome way. Looks like he's killed one of the rival vampires' family members. So this lady has gone to retrieve him, picks him up, sticks him in his boot of his car, protects him from the sun. Takes him back. So just as he's taking him back, he gets ambushed by the Ramses, as in Ramses, the Egyptian pharaohs. So I guess that family goes back quite a long way. They get ambushed by the corporate enforcers of the Ramses and some actual vampires. There's probably the highlight of this book actually. There's a fight scene. There's the artwork. It's not particularly great, is it? The colours are nice, and nice blues there. It's quite sweet. That's the highlight of the comic, I'd say. The blues in the fight scene. The bloke who David Reed was trying to get for the Virgo family to protect the drunken family member, his name was Nibor. He's killed. So not a good day for old corporate enforcer David Reed. And the Virgo family get in there. The top enforcer, and his name is Titus. And Titus basically cleans up. Like I think it was Mr. Wolf in is it Pulp Fiction? He's sort of like the cleaner, he's like the top man in the family, the top enforcer. He comes along and sorts things out. And at the end of the comic, they're basically saying, right now there's going to be a war between the Virgos and the Ramses. So a big war between the two rival families, vampire stroke banking, really, aren't they? Families. And this poor David Reed said, he was told, look at me David, this will be a war we fight for centuries long after you're dead. The rest of your life, however long that is, will be spent defending the honour of the family. Understand this, you'll spend the rest of your life bathed in blood. That's it. That's the end of the comic. So what do we have there? We had a corporate enforcer cleaning up the mess for a pretty scummy vampire family. Was the corporate enforcer interesting? No, not really. Were the vampires we met interesting? Nah, not particularly. Do you care what's going to happen next in this war between the vampire families? No, not really. So was the art any good? It was average. Nothing stood out as being particularly bad, but it wasn't particularly memorable. Like I said a few minutes ago, the best thing about it was the colouring, really. So what we had here with Gagnon is an average comic about warring vampire families. Didn't really go into any details. Somebody like myself is interested in the behind the scenes, really, real world activities of various families. I'm talking about the Rothschild families, the Rockefeller families, that sort of thing. There was a few, I suppose you'd call them almost hints, but really nothing more interesting than you find on a 2-minute Google search, really. So why buy a comic for that reason? There is no reason, is there, really? Yeah, this review's petering out now, just like the comic. Then, very disappointing. I don't see the point. I really don't see the point. Completely pointless comic. I am not going to be checking out issue number 2, and I advise that you avoid it as well. And if you haven't already bought issue number 1, don't. There's nothing there. Just nothing there. It's a vacuum of nothingness. I'll give it a, let me be generous, a generous 3 out of 10. I'll avoid it. Okay, so yeah, hopefully the next comic will be a bit better.